Breaking news of some serious shocking news. Tszyu manager came out today stating that they will vacate the WBO title in order to avoid the Terence Crawford fight if they get offered the Errol Spence fight. According to the Boxing Voice, Tszyu manager told them they would consider vacating the WBO title to make a Spence fight, but he prefers to table that conversation until Monday, after Tszyu handles business with Fundora. He did say they willing to fight Crawford next, but being able to go with Spence first is just from a manager's standpoint. Whoa, wait a minute. Clearly Tszyu doesn't want Crawford to fight next, because if they did, they wouldn't be talking about vacating the title to fight Errol Spence first. Tszyu team making it clear they want Errol Spence first and Terence Crawford last. Listen, the worst decision Tszyu can make at this moment of his career is to turn down a Terence Crawford fight by vacating his title to fight Errol Spence coming off a loss, injuries, and layoff. I mean, this literally makes no sense at all, because Tszyu was the same guy who was complaining about Jermell Charlo not fighting him. So he ended up fighting for the vacant title, or he ended up getting elevated to so-called being an email champion, right? That's what you guys said about Devin Haney. Now, after Tszyu became the WBO email champion, he was supposed to fight Keith Thurman coming off a huge layoff. However, because Keith Thurman suffered an injury, now he's fighting Fundora, who's coming off a devastating knockout loss, to unify the division for the WBO and the WBC titles. So to go from that, not having any significant and legacy fights, to turning down the biggest legacy and money fight of Tszyu career by vacating his title to avoid Terence Crawford, that will hurt his career more than if he loses to Crawford. Because even if Tszyu loses to Crawford, he will still lose to pound for pound the best fighter in the world. On top of that, after that, he can go back and fight Errol Spence, because the fight will make more sense. Tszyu is coming off a loss. Errol Spence is coming off a loss. They both lost to Crawford, so them fighting each other then will make all of the sense in the world. But for Tszyu to fight Errol Spence now, while he's being forced to fight Crawford by the WBO, makes -0 sense, especially after Tszyu accepted Terence Crawford challenge to fight next. Your word is your bond. Your word is everything you have. Once you take that back, nobody's gonna take you seriously anymore. I guess everybody wants some smoke until the original smoke bud pulls up. That's when all of a sudden, fighters don't want to get too high off that smoke, off that bud. You know, this is what Terence Crawford has been dealing with his entire career, so I'm glad he activated his mandatory to force Tszyu to fight him, because if Tszyu doesn't start negotiating with Crawford 5 days after the Fundora fight, then he will be forced to vacate the WBO title, which if he does that, that will be devastating for his career. For him to be in his prime, begging Jermell Charlo for an opportunity, but then turns down a bigger opportunity to fight pound for pound #1 Terence Crawford. For now, I will give Tszyu the benefit of the doubt. We shall see what he has to say this week leading up to his fight. Action speaks louder than words, but let's see what Tszyu has to say. I mean, Tszyu better be checking his team for that comment. Crawford is the one that's giving him the opportunity. But why does Crawford has to force Tszyu to give him the opportunity, and after forcing it, Tszyu team talking about vacating the title to fight Errol Spence, who Crawford already beat? Tszyu team is talking as if Terence Crawford is finna end Tszyu's career. That's how they talking. But the irony of it all, Tszyu agrees with my take that it's all about the best fighting the best in the sport of boxing. Well, Tszyu is obviously the best at 154 right now, and you can't get another better opponent. You can't get a fighter that's better than Terence Crawford, talking about the best. Crawford is the best in the world. So if Tszyu is looking for the best, well, the best done came his way. Therefore, he better not turn it down by vacating the title. That's literally the worst thing a fighter can do to his career especially when he's being offered the biggest legacy and money fight of his career. This was so disappointing to hear. It's going to kill the hype for Tszyu coming up fight against Fundora. So I don't know why they came out with that. Nevertheless, let's hear what Tszyu have to say. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt for now. And regardless of what he says, action speaks louder than words. Due to the fact Crawford activated his mandatory to fight Tszyu, we're going to find out if Tszyu is going to follow up with his words. With that being said, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below. And to be continued on the next episode of Akhi TV. Peace out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Listen, not to overlook this fight. But Crawford activated his mandatory to fight you next, according to the WBO.
Yeah.
How excited are you for that? And what's your message to Crawford if he's listening?
Yeah, that's great, man. You know, like that's an opportunity to become great for sure. You know, this is the first opportunity to do things that no one else does, to save the show, to still start this historic card, and once the opportunity arises for Crawford, then that's going to be a war.
How different is the kind of pressure you could apply versus like what Spence did? Because Spence tried to apply pressure and just the counter punching was like a buzzsaw he walked.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't that be the case with you? You know, potentially applying pressure.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, I think Spence was. I don't know. It didn't look the same, in my opinion. I don't know. From the get-go, he was off balance. Maybe weight trained. It was different. And me and him are completely different style. You know, he's southpaw, I'm orthodox. Yeah, so it's mixed.
Would it got talked about a little bit for June or July. Is that too quick a turnaround for a big fight like Crawford? Or it could be Crawford
June, July. So what is it now? March. I've had 4 fights in 12 months. So.
It's kind of the exception to the rule these days.
It's part of the plan.
Hey, listen, Canelo said he will only fight Benavidez for between 150 and 200 million. What's your
How
thoughts?
much?
150
to 200 million.
Damn, bro. That's called pricing yourself out, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's not the worst you've ever heard?
Far out.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Yeah, right. Oh, no comment on that, man. Like
that, he gets the pay-per-view rights too, right?
Yeah, 100% pay-per-view rights.
Yeah, Benavidez should pay him as well, right?
Benavidez responded by saying that hopefully he gets the money so he can have enough money to buy a pair of balls after it's all said and done.
Man, I don't know, man. Like, I guess Canelo, he's got that position now that he is the #1 man in boxing, so he can say figures, but like talking about figures like that, that's mind blowing.
Why do you think that's a thing in boxing? Like you've done enough, you've earned the right to pick and choose who you fight. Like that doesn't happen in football, basketball.
Yeah.
And boxing's different, I get it, but why do you think that is?
I don't know, man. I really don't know. Like,
should we
be
phase
the
it
best.
out?
It should be the best foot to fight the best. You know, like. All right, make it an even field. Let the promoters get some money. Let the trainers get some money, the managers. Let everyone have a little bit of a piece of the share. Of course, the fighters should get the most now, but don't put unrealistic numbers.
Who do you think is the tougher fight for you? Obviously, styles make fights, but Keith Thurman falling out.
Yeah.
A lot of people were overlooking you. He himself said you were nothing but a flat-footed Mexican. Do you think that Fundora stylistically is a tougher fight for you, or do you think it would have been Thurman because of all his experience and whatnot?
No, I think Fundora for sure. You know, like his height, his awkwardness. You know, that always presents a tremendous task. You know, it's the what if? How do you get inside? How do you fight him? You know, he's got natural God given attributes. You know.